I mean, like, the only thing that really matters to me is whether I serve God or not, and that's the only thing keeping me alive is my service to God. You know, 'cause once you stop serving God, you know what happens, right? Right? You know what happens? You die. You die if you stop serving God. And I mean, it doesn't matter whether you think you're serving God or not. You are, more importantly, part of a thing much larger than you. And I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. There are people who that don't have souls. There are a lot of people that don't have souls. They don't have a soul matrix. They don't have what the Ebens would call a soul matrix. Extraterrestrial life only messes, like, when you hear someone's like Illuminati or whatever, or like God's chosen people. No, those people, they have souls. They have souls. That's why. I mean, they can be souls that I mean, like in the case of like the Illuminati, they can be people that have souls that are corrupted. Like, let me tell you a little example of something I know. The Skull and Bones secret society is mainly run by women. That's right. Like gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. I mean, yeah, it's the and the vast majority of the CIA's higher elites in that organization. They're mainly Skull and Bones members. So now, and like in the Skull and Bones nowadays, you have like two factions. You have the old guard, but they're on their way out. Okay, and then you have the new guard, which are like it's a bunch of women, and and how you get recruited in the Skull and Bone Society at Yale is how much of a special snowflake you are. If you've read extensively on my social engineering manifestos and what I did like in mass hypnosis and all that stuff to make everybody really just one of a kind. I mean, they look for one of a kind people in that organization. So like let's say if you're like Blasian, schizophrenic, and let's say you're also in a wheelchair, you're definitely going to join the Skull and Bones, and you're definitely in. Okay, like the Skull and Bones today, it ain't what it used to be, man. And this is a fun fact about the Skull and Bones, but they have like trigger warning safe spaces and uh for their rituals, and they have diversity quotas for their hiring. So the Skull and Bones has not been a meritocracy for a while. It's a diversity thing. Yeah, diversity hires is all they get in the Skull and Bones. So you can imagine what someone like me, who actually objectively knows that there's a God, and what he thinks of this world. I mean, like I was reading Herzog, and I read Yemek Shemal too many times, and then I had a dream where I saw Jesus Christ in a swamp of shit, according to the Talmud, just like it says in the Talmud. I saw that. I saw that. And how do I really believe it? Well, it was a demon that showed me it. So I mean, consider the sources. But anyway, yeah, like this world is mine for all I care. This world is mine. I'm literally Azrael, he who helps. Like I once wrote a Halloween conspiracy theory involving my cousin George Senior. He died 30 days later in 2018, and I felt really bad about doing that. Let's do a little bibliomancy. Let's do a little bibliomancy. Let's see if this is real. Woe is me, for I am as when they have gathered the summer fruits, as the grape gleanings of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat. My soul desired the first ripe fruit. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among them. They will all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net, that they may do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince asketh, and the judge asketh for a reward. And the great man he uttereth his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up. The best of them is a briar. The most upright is sharper than the thorn hedge. The day of thy watchman and thy visitation cometh. Now shall be their perplexity. Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the son dishonoureth the father, the daughter rises up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Therefore I will look unto the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall rise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is the Lord thy God? Mine eye shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. In the day that thy walls are to be built, in that day shall the decree be far removed. In that day also he shall come even to thee from Assyria, and from the fortified cities, and from the fortress even to the river, and from the sea to sea, and from mountain to mountain. Notwithstanding the land shall be desolate, because of them that dwell therein, for the fruit of their doings. Feed thy people with thy rod, the flock of thine heritage, which dwell solitary in the wood, in the heritage which dwell solitary in the wood, in the midst of Carmel. Let them feed in Bashan and Gilead, as in the days of old. According to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt will I show unto him marvelous things. The nations shall see and be confounded at all their might. They shall lay their hand upon their mouth, their ears shall be deaf. They shall lick the dust like a serpent. They shall move out of their holes like worms of the earth. They shall be afraid of the Lord our God, and shall fear because of thee. Who is a God like unto thee, that pardoneth iniquity, and passeth by the transgressions of the remnant of his heritage? He retaineth not his anger forever, because he delighteth in mercy. He will turn again. He will have compassion on us. He will subdue our iniquities, and thou wilt cast all their sins into the depths of the sea. Thou wilt perform the truth to Jacob, and the mercy to Abraham, which thou hast sworn unto our fathers from the days of old. Now I was just reading from Micah 7. Hey, Otis.